start with the first chapter, which is about patterns and sequences. So if you look at the picture here, this is a picture of what? Yes, correct, sunflower seeds. So can you imagine what are they going to relate the picture here for the sunflower seed to patterns and sequences? Can you guess or not? Very good. The repeated patterns of the shape over here, the spiral shape of the sunflower seed here. Okay, so if you look at the given introduction here, I'm going to start with the first one here. Ahmad, can you read this paragraph here, Ahmad? Very good. Thank you very much. So if you look at the given information over here, the seeds are arranged in spiral pattern. Spiral pattern meaning that something like this. Okay, it turns in spiral, and then it can be arranged that in a number pattern which is known as Fibonacci numbers. Okay, so you are going to look into what is a Fibonacci numbers also later on in the next lesson. And then the seed is arranged into two types of spiral pattern. There is clockwise and anti-clockwise. Do you know clockwise? Clockwise meaning that you follow the direction of the clock. This is clockwise and this is anti-clockwise. Okay, and then if you look at the number here, if it is clockwise, there will be 21 spirals. And if it is anti-clockwise, there are 34 spirals over there. That is found in the Fibonacci sequence. Okay, let us look at the next slide. Okay, this is the word link, the words that you are going to learn in this chapter. So the first one, while I read the word link over here, I would like you to look at the meaning in Bahasa Melayu if you don't understand. Okay, number pattern, so you read it yourself. And then odd number, I hope you understand the meaning of odd number. Even number, Fibonacci number. And then Pascal's triangle, sequence, algebraic expression, and term. Okay, these are all the word link that you will encounter in this lesson here. So what will you learn in this chapter? There will be 3 subtopics. The first subtopic that you are going to learn is about patterns. That is what we are going to learn today, followed by sequences. So hopefully remember just now the meaning of patterns and sequences. Okay, sequences means tunjukkan, right? And then the third one is the combination of patterns and sequences. Okay, both of it. So let us look at the meaning there. So first, you are going to recognize and describe patterns of various numbers, the various number sets and objects based on real life situations, and then make generalization on pattern. In this part that we are going to learn today, we are going to recognize what types of pattern is it, and then we are going to describe the pattern of the number in object. Okay, let's move on. So if you look at your book, this is part of the creative activity, whereby the aim is recognize pattern. Okay, what do? They use the material of potato. So this is potato, this is onion, and then this is the mustard stem. Okay, a drawing paper and watercolor. After that, you are going to cut the potato, and then you stamp it on the watercolor and then put it on the drawing paper. So you are going to have the pattern like this. Okay, when they ask you to state the pattern produced, what can you say about the pattern produced over here? Anything that you can mention? Just now you said in the beginning already, right? It's a repetition, right? So it's very simple. The pattern is the repetition of the stem of the potato here. You can see the shape of the potato, the shape that is cut out. There is the stars there. It is the repetition of the star in the grid line like this. Same with the second one. This is what? Is it mustard or onion? Yeah, this is under the mustard. So it's also repeat like this, huh? And then this is the onion. Okay, so basically here they want you to recognize the pattern. The pattern is repeated in the grid line. Is 3 by 3 like this, 3 by 3, 3 by 3. Okay, let us look at the next slide here. Okay, same thing, you are going to recognize pattern here. So the material used is the batik cloth. You can see the 3 pieces of batik cloth over here. So when they ask you in the discussion part, what patterns do you see? And what are the arrangement of the patterns like? So what patterns do you see here? What patterns do you see? Yeah, it is all repeated pattern over here. So whenever they ask you what are the pattern that you see, it is repeated pattern of the, you can see this is the shape of a diamond, isn't it? So a repeated pattern of the diamond shape. Okay, or you check carefully like this one. This is a, how many side is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The repeated of a hexagon. Okay, repetitions of hexagon. So from the activity above, the pattern scenes are repetition of a polygon. Okay, it's a repetition of a polygon that you can see. Like this one is too small already, we can't really see clearly what are the repetition, but we can see the shape is repeated itself here. Okay, it is repeated. So you just need to know basically pattern are a repetition of certain object or number. Okay, let us look at the next slide here. So another cognitive stimulation, fill up the table below. So the first one you can see it is a fill up with a one box that is shaded only. And then the second one here we can have 3 and 1 on top, meaning that out of this one box in the middle, they add in one box on the left, on the right, and on top. And then when it comes to the third one here, from the second one we have the pattern like this. So they add in another box on the left, on the right, and on top. So if you look at the pattern number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it means this is pattern number 1, this is pattern number 2, this is pattern number 3. Okay, number of squares that we can see from pattern number 1 is 1. And then from pattern number 2, we have 4. Pattern number 3, we have 7. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what about pattern number 4? What do you think? How many number of squares will we get? Yeah, very good. What about the fifth one? Yes, very good. Okay, I'm sure some of your friends don't know how to get this. Can you tell us how to get 10 and 13 here? Very good, because each of the pattern is plus 3, right? You see, this is 1 plus 3, it becomes 4. So the pattern is like this. You plus 3, you get 4. 4 plus 3 again, we get 7. 7 plus 3, we get 10. So it keeps going on. Plus 3, we get 13. Okay, now we can see the pattern already. The pattern is plus 3 to the previous number. Now, second discussion here. Calculate the number of squares of pattern for number 7 and 8. So we want to find 7 and 8. So we just continue with number 6 here. If this is 13 for number 5, 6 will be 16. What about 7? 19. And the last one? 20? 22, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so you can guess for the number already. Should be no problem in finding the pattern of the number now. Okay, so here you can see from the activity above, the number of squares in the pattern 1, 4, 7 and dot 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 is determined by adding 3 to the number before it. So addition of 3 is the pattern for this sequence. Okay, now let us look at the next one. Okay, this is the meaning of pattern that I get it from the internet, the web. So pattern is a repeated decorative design. Now, if it is from the book regarding when it comes to mathematics, the definition will be a little bit different. You look at the meaning here. Pattern are list of numbers or object. Okay, number or object that is arranged based on a rule or design. Okay, a rule or design. So can you remember the meaning of pattern now? A list of number or object arranged based on a rule or design. Can all of you remember, class? Okay, good. Let us look at some of the example now. So this is the example 1. Draw the next object and state its pattern. So the first one we have 2 dots. Second one we have 4 dots followed by 6 dots. So how many dots we have for the last one here? Yeah, very good. You have to draw 8 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have to draw nicely, yeah? Draw nicely. I don't know why my pen got a line just now. Okay, next one. 1 triangle. This becomes 2 triangles. And then 3 triangles. So the next one, how many triangles we have? Yes, very good. So you just need to draw 4 triangles. Using appropriate color, not using the red color like mine over here. Just use black color or blue color lah, or the pencil that you use to draw. Okay, so drawing, no problem. We know the pattern already. Now, if you look at the number here, determine the patterns for the following. So A, we have 6 questions here. We are going to look at A first. -10, -4, 2, 8. Okay, -10, -4, 2, 8 here. So what you need to do is you are going to determine how are we going to get the next number. So for me, for my case, I'm going to look at the number that is positive. That will be easier. How much is the difference between 2 and 8? 6, right? Okay, I rewrite now. -10, -4, 2, 8. So the difference is 6. Meaning that from 2 to get 8, we plus 6, right? Okay, so we check. -4 plus 6. Is it correct? The answer is 2. Yes. What about -10 plus 6? Do we get -4? Yes, right. All correct, right? So how do we describe the pattern? We know the pattern already is plus 6. So to describe it, it will be add addition of 6 or add 6 to the previous number. Okay, if it is subtract, then you just write down subtract 6 from the previous number. If add, then you use 2. If subtract, then you use from. Okay, we will go through one by one. You'll see the difference of the way of describing later on. Okay, B here we have 17, 7, -3, -13. So you figure out how do we get the next number here. You figure out first. Oh, very fast. You got it. So we will have to check whether it's correct or not. Your friend said -10. Okay, 17 minus 10. Do we get 7? Yes. 7 minus 10. Do we get -3? Yes, correct. -3 minus 10. Do we get -13? Yes, all correct, right? So to describe it, to describe the pattern, it will be subtract 10 from the previous number. Can I write down subtract -10 like this from the previous number? No, because you already write down the word subtract, so it will be +10. So just subtract 10 from the previous number. Do you have any question, class, so far? No? Okay, good. I'm going to change the color so that it's easier now. Okay, let us look at the next one. So this is question C here. We have 2, 6, 18, and 54. Now, can you guess when it comes to 2, 6, 18, 54, how do I get the number that is next to it? Times 3. Okay, let's see if you times 3. So this one, it means, hold on, I change to pen here. Okay, 2 times 3, we get 6, that's correct. 6 times 3, we get 18, that's correct. 18 times 3, we get 54, right? Okay, so how do we describe it? Yes, multiply 3. Okay, to the previous number. That's correct, very good. Okay, now we look at D, since you have know how to solve C. So you can see the pattern. If you compare with the previous one, it can plus or add with the number, subtract with the number, multiply with the number, and of course, if you have multiply, we also can divide. Okay, let's look at the next one, whether it is divide or not. 81, 27, 9, 3. So how do I get the next number here? Divide by 3. Okay, 81 divided by 3 is 27. 27 divided by 3? Yes, correct. 9 divided by 3? Yeah, all correct already. So how to describe it? You can do like this, divide the previous number by 3. Okay, divide the previous number by 3. Same with the multiplication over here. You can change it, becomes multiply the previous number by 3, so that it sounds better. Okay, when you compare multiply 3 to the previous number and multiply the previous number by 3, which one is better? First or second? Second one better, right? So do it this way. When it comes to add and subtract, that will be using the first way of description just now. You see, add 6 to the previous number, subtract 10 from the previous number. So when it comes to multiply and divide, multiply the previous number by 3, divide the previous number by 3. Okay, so that you have a better sentence of writing there. Now we look at E. Do you have any question here? No. Okay, let's carry on. E. So now it comes to a fraction. 1, 3 over 2, 2, and 5 over 2. So sometimes if you look at the fraction, it's very hard for you to compare the figure here. So like this one, I'm going to change it to an easier number so that I can compare easily. 3 over 2, when I write down in the form of decimal, is equal to what? 3 over 2 is 1.5, right? And then 2, what about 5 over 2? Is equal to 2 point? Yes, 2.5. So now it will be easier for us to compare 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. So how is the pattern? Yes, correct, plus 0.5. But the original question, they give you fraction, right? So we don't use 0.5. Instead of 0.5, we use plus half. Okay? So this will be plus half. Plus half, you get the rest. Okay, it's like this. From the beginning, you plus half, you get 3 over 2. 3 over 2, you add another half. So you get 2. And then 2, you add another half. You get 5 over 2. Okay, so then you are going to carry on with the description. How are we going to describe it? Add 1 over 2. Yes, very good. Add 1 over 2 to the previous number. Okay, now we look at F here. This one is in decimal, it's easier. So negative 2.3, after that negative 2.6, negative 2.9, negative 3.2. Okay, so how to get the next number? Wow, very good. Subtract negative 0.3, right? Subtract 0.3 or minus 0.3. So negative 2.3 minus 0.3, we get negative 2.6. Negative 2.6 minus 0.3, we get negative 2.9. After that, negative 2.9 minus negative 0.3, we get negative 3.2. All correct, right? So we need to describe it now. That will be subtract. Yeah, very good. Subtract 0.3 from. When it is subtract, you use from the previous number. Okay, you have any question? Noah? So this is where we are going to stop today here. So I will want you to do one of the exercise given in your textbook.